Drake wakes up New Year's morning to a federal lawsuit that labels him a literal racketeer. Standing right beside him, Twitch king Adin Ross. The charge? Running an illegal gambling ring that laundered casino cash straight into Drake's streaming numbers, charts, chips, and RICO. Everybody thought this was just another crypto casino controversy. Adin streams stake, Drake pops in, they throw money around, people lose bets. Standard influencer mess, right? Wrong. December 31st, 2025, 11:48 p.m., a Virginia court drops a 43-page bombshell that flips the entire script. This isn't about bad sponsorships anymore. Plaintiffs claim Drake, Ross, and Stake built a self-feeding hype machine where house bankrolls turned into fake wins turned into viral clips pumped chart positions, and chart positions unlocked bigger brand deals. If proven, that's textbook racketeering. Let me break down exactly what's sitting in this lawsuit, because the details are absolutely wild. This isn't speculation. This is court-documented, time-stamped, blockchain-verified evidence that has the internet losing its collective mind right now. Exhibit A, the Virginia complaint. 43 pages filed at 11:48 p.m. on New Year's Eve. Paragraph 12 straight up says Stake supplies essentially unlimited reloads to influencer accounts, not their own money. House money. Paragraph 19 claims Drake received seven-figure monthly tips routed through shell entities. And here's where it gets insane. Paragraph 27 alleges those same exact dollar amounts show up as organic streams on Spotify and YouTube within 24 hours. The lawsuit is literally connecting dots between casino chips and Billboard charts. Exhibit B. Blockchain doesn't lie. On-chain analysts, specifically someone who goes by ZachXBT online, already mapped $18 million in Ethereum moving from Stake's hot wallet to an address tagged Drake Marketing between February and October 2025. And guess what? The court attaches those exact same transactions as evidence. Every single transfer, public ledger, time-stamped, traceable. This isn't Twitter gossip. This is cryptographic proof sitting in federal filing cabinets right now. Exhibit C, the promo clips that are still live on YouTube as we speak. The lawsuit embeds 6 different videos when Drake spins Stake Roulette, wins $14 million on camera, and immediately says, quote, "Run it back, put the whole mill on 23. Sounds hype, right? Except plaintiffs argue the winning chips were non-withdrawable, meaning there was no real wager, no actual risk, which makes the entire performance a misrepresentation to millions of viewers who thought they were watching genuine gambling. That's fraud territory. But wait, it gets even crazier. The complaint includes screenshots from Adin's own streams, where you can literally see the account balance reload mid-session. Fans who screen recorded noticed the balance jumping from 200,000 to 5 million in a single frame with zero explanation. No deposit notification, no transaction pop-up, just boom, instant refill. And this happened multiple times across multiple broadcasts. Online detectives went frame by frame, comparing timestamps, and found at least 9 separate instances where the house allegedly topped up the account live on stream, while Adin kept hyping up big bets like it was all his own cash on the line. And for anyone who doesn't know, Stake operates in a legal gray zone. They're offshore, based in Curacao, but they accept U.S. players through crypto deposits, which technically skirts traditional gambling laws. The lawsuit claims this setup lets them keep 35% more of each wager because they don't pay state gaming taxes. That's a massive profit margin. And celebrity endorsements provide what plaintiffs call regulatory camouflage, making the whole operation look legitimate to everyday users who just see their favorite rapper winning big and assume it's all above board. Now, the court also references stream charts data showing Adin's Stake broadcasts pulled in 68 million hours watched in 2025 alone. At an average 5% house edge, that converts to somewhere between $40 and $50 million in yearly handle. That's not small time. That's industrial-scale gambling funneled through a single influencer's Twitch channel, with Drake making surprise guest appearances to juice the numbers even higher. TMZ just dropped a follow-up report saying Drake's legal team is scrambling. They released a one-sentence statement. These allegations are entirely without merit. That's it. No detailed rebuttal, no evidence to counter the blockchain receipts, just a blanket denial. while the internet is out here doing forensic accounting with public transaction records. And honestly, that silence is louder than anything they could have said. Because when you've got $18 million in Ethereum transactions with your name tagged on the wallet, a vague denial doesn't exactly inspire confidence. Fans online turned into full-blown investigators, slowing down footage, zooming into account balances, comparing voice timestamps, cross-referencing Instagram story uploads with stake stream schedules. They found that nearly every time Drake posted a studio session photo on Instagram, Adin went live on stake within 90 minutes. Coincidence? Plaintiffs argue it was coordinated content designed to create artificial buzz loops where social media hype fed into live stream viewership, which fed back into Drake's music visibility. It's a closed ecosystem where every piece reinforces the next, and the house is funding the entire cycle. The lawsuit even pulls in former stake employees. One anonymous declaration describes internal Slack messages where marketing managers discussed optimizing Drake appearances for maximum US conversion. Another describes a bonus structure where influencer managers got paid extra if their assigned streamer brought in American signups, which are explicitly illegal under most state laws, but wildly profitable because of the unregulated margins. This isn't just Drake and Adin being reckless. This is allegedly an entire corporate strategy built around exploiting legal loopholes with celebrity star power. Now let's get into the motive, because this is where everything starts clicking into place and the entire scheme suddenly makes perfect, twisted sense. Why would someone at Drake's level risk federal charges over a gambling sponsorship? Follow the money and it gets real clear real fast. Drake's streaming empire runs on volume. 2023 payout rate from Spotify, 0.00037 cents per play. That's not a typo, less than half a penny, which means to generate serious revenue, you need absolutely insane play counts. Boosting a single by 500 million artificial streams equals about $1.85 million in direct payouts. But that's just the baseline. The real value is chart positioning. A top 10 Billboard hit unlocks Super Bowl commercial sync deals, luxury brand partnerships, film placements, and tour sponsorships worth tens of millions. One viral song can fund an entire album cycle. Here's where stake comes in. The leaked draft agreement from 2022, obtained by plaintiffs through discovery, shows a revenue share kicker if Drake brings U.S. signups. Since the U.S. market is technically illegal for offshore casinos, the profit margins are way higher because there's no regulatory overhead, no gaming commission fees, no licensing costs, no compliance audits. That gray market status means stake keeps a bigger cut of every losing bet, and they're willing to pay influencers a premium to drive that high-margin traffic. Drake wasn't just getting appearance fees, he was allegedly getting a percentage of the house take from every American who signed up using his promo code and lost money. But it gets deeper. Court documents reference a forensic audit showing stake paid Drake approximately $4.2 million in direct transfers during a 6-month window in 2025. Those exact same dollar amounts, down to the cent in some cases, appear as Spotify advertising purchases within 48 hours. The audit traces the money moving from stake to a shell company called Drake Marketing LLC, then to another entity named God's Plan Holdings, and finally to Spotify invoices specifically for autoplay in-app inventory. That's the premium ad space that forces your song into playlists and shuffle rotations, even if users didn't search for it. It's artificial inflation disguised as legitimate promotion, funded with dirty casino money. Think about it. Drake's been in the game long enough to know organic growth is slow and unpredictable. You can drop the best track of your career and still get buried by algorithm shifts or bad release timing. But if you've got a guaranteed cash pipeline from an offshore casino that's desperate for American customers, you can bypass all that uncertainty. You take their money, wash it through a couple LLCs, buy algorithmic playlist dominance, and suddenly you're back on top of the charts with organically grown streams that are actually purchased with house funds. It's pay to win, but disguised as authentic success. Now flip to Adin's side.
His stake contract, also partially leaked, pays $2 million base plus 15% of net gaming from U.S. referrals. Given that his broadcasts average 68 million hours watched, and assuming even a conservative 2% conversion rate to actual deposits, that's over 1 million unique viewers who click through. If each person lost an average of $100, that's $100 million in-house revenue. Adin's 15% cut would be $15 million in a single year, just from referral losses. That's generational wealth for someone whose previous career peak was streaming video games and pulling YouTube pranks. But Adin's got another angle. Unlike Drake, whose reputation is already cemented, Adin's relevance is directly tied to controversy and virality. Every scandal keeps him trending. Every lawsuit puts his name back in headlines. Even bad press is good press in influencer economics because it drives engagement metrics that sponsors pay for. So when this RICO case dropped, his YouTube views spiked 30% overnight. His Twitter mentions went up 45%. The lawsuit itself became content fuel. He's probably already drafting a response video that'll pull 10 million views in the first week, which converts to 6 figures in ad revenue alone. The guy's literally monetizing his own federal investigation. Stake's motive is the simplest and the ugliest. They're a gray market casino operating in legal limbo. They can't advertise on Google, they can't buy Facebook ads, they can't sponsor NFL broadcasts, so they use celebrity proxy marketing to reach American audiences while maintaining plausible deniability. If Drake and Adin are the public faces, Stake stays in the shadows, collecting revenue without direct brand exposure to U.S. regulators. And because crypto transactions are semi-anonymous and cross-border enforcement is weak, they've been operating with near impunity for years. This lawsuit is the first real threat to that model. The complaint even cites internal Stake documents describing their marketing strategy as regulatory camouflage. That's not my phrasing. That's a direct quote from a leaked marketing deck. They knew they were skirting the law. They knew celebrity endorsements provided cover, and they allegedly structured the entire operation to maximize profit while minimizing legal exposure, using Drake and Adin as the lightning rods who'd take the heat if anything ever went sideways. And here's the part that really hits different, and honestly makes this whole situation so much darker than just celebrity drama or financial schemes. The people who got caught in the middle of all this were real people with real money and real lives that got absolutely destroyed.
The lawsuit features testimony from a plaintiff identified as Sarah Kay, 26 years old, from Missouri. She's a nurse, works night shifts, single mom, and she lost $38,000 after entering Drake's promo code. Let me repeat that. $38,000. That's not gambling money. That's life savings. That's rent, groceries, childcare, car payments, everything gone. And here's what she said in her deposition, quote, "You see your idol literally dancing while the slot hits jackpot, you think, okay, it's legit. I never knew he wasn't playing with real money. I thought if Drake's winning, I can win too." End quote. That's somebody's mother. That's somebody who trusted a celebrity cosign and got financially ruined because the entire performance was allegedly fake. And she's not alone. The lawsuit represents a class of over 100,000 plaintiffs who collectively lost an estimated $470 million on Stake between January 2024 and December 2025. That's not corporate money. That's rent checks, student loans, medical bills, and credit card cash advances from real people who thought they were playing a fair game because someone they admired made it look easy and fun. The National Council on Problem Gaming released data showing that suicide hotline calls related to stake losses increased 300% since 2024. 300%! That means people are losing so much money so fast that they're reaching crisis-level desperation. And a huge chunk of those calls came from users who specifically mentioned influencer promos as the reason they signed up in the first place. They saw Drake win millions. They saw Adin celebrate jackpots. They thought, if it's good enough for them, it's good enough for me. But they didn't know the game was rigged from the start. There's leaked footage, shaky phone camera recording from one of Adin's live streams where someone in the chat says, "I just lost my rent money, bro. I don't know what to do." And Adin, visible on screen, laughs and says, "Bro, you gotta know when to walk away. That's on you."
No empathy, no acknowledgement, just blame shifted entirely onto the victim while he's sitting there playing with house money that he can't actually lose. That clip went viral on Twitter, and the comments were ruthless. Thousands of people sharing their own lost stories, talking about debt, broken relationships, evictions, depression. This isn't just financial harm, this is life-altering trauma. The lawsuit includes a detailed breakdown of one user from Ohio who deposited $800 over a weekend after watching a Drake steak stream, lost it all in 6 hours, took out a payday loan for $1,200 more, lost that too, then used a credit card cash advance for another $2,000, gone. Within 72 hours, this person was $6,500 in debt with 28% interest, all because a rigged promo made gambling look like easy money. That's predatory, that's exploitation, and that's exactly what the plaintiffs are arguing this whole operation was designed to do. Now let's go even deeper into the evidence, because what I just showed you was only the first layer. The second round of exhibits in this lawsuit is where things go from sketchy to absolutely criminal, and the receipts are undeniable. Exhibit D, the round-trip spreadsheet. This is forensic accounting at its finest. Plaintiffs hired a certified fraud examiner who traced every single dollar moving through this alleged scheme. Here's what they found. $4.2 million moving in a perfect loop. Stake sends payment to Drake Marketing LLC. Drake Marketing LLC transfers to God's Plan Holdings. God's Plan Holdings pays Spotify for premium autoplay advertising inventory. Same amounts, 48-hour turnaround windows. It happened at least 7 times between March and October 2025. The spreadsheet is attached as Exhibit D, and it's color-coded with transaction IDs, wallet addresses, bank routing numbers, and Spotify invoice timestamps. This isn't circumstantial. This is a literal paper trail showing casino money being laundered into chart manipulation. But wait, there's more. The forensic accountant also found that the Spotify ad buys specifically targeted user demographics that matched Stake's ideal customer profile. Men aged 18 to 34, located in states with no legal sports betting, interested in hip-hop and luxury brands. The ads didn't just boost Drake's music randomly. They were laser-focused on the exact audience most likely to click an offshore gambling link. That's not coincidence, that's coordination. Exhibit E, the deleted Discord logs. This is where the case goes from financial fraud to straight-up conspiracy. Subpoenaed Discord messages, partially redacted for legal reasons, show Adin asking a Stake admin, quote, "Can we reload Champagne Poppy with 5 mil for tonight? Need content." The timestamp on that message, November 3rd, 2025, 6:47 p.m. That same night, 8:30 p.m., Drake goes live on Stake, breaks the so-called roulette record, wins $9.3 million in a single session, and his track More M's re-enters the Billboard Hot 100 at number 47 after weeks of declining. Within 72 hours, it climbs to number 12. That is not organic momentum. That is pre-planned, coordinated content designed to create a viral moment that feeds back into music charts. And the Discord logs don't stop there. There are multiple messages over several months where Adin and Stake staff discuss reload schedules, content windows, and hype cycles. One message from a Stake marketing director says, quote, "Let's time the next Drake reload with the album drop, maximize crossover buzz." Another message references U.S. conversion targets and optimizing payout optics for maximum referral click-through. This is not casual sponsorship. This is a planned, multi-phase marketing operation using fake gambling wins to drive music sales and illegal casino signups simultaneously. Exhibit F, expert declaration from a former Department of Justice RICO prosecutor. This is the legal hammer. The expert's written testimony states, quote, "If funds used to juice commercial performance derive from an illegal gambling act, the entire revenue chain becomes proceeds of racketeering activity under 18 U.S.C. Section 1962. Translation, every dollar Drake made from those boosted streams is legally considered dirty money if the source was illegal gambling. That means chart positions, royalties, sync deals, tour revenue, everything downstream is potentially subject to asset forfeiture. The government could theoretically seize platinum plaques, royalty checks, real estate purchased with streaming income, all of it." The expert declaration also breaks down the RICO elements: enterprise, Stake, Drake, Adin and associated shell companies. Pattern: at least 7 documented instances of the same money laundering loop over 8 months. Predicate acts: wire fraud, illegal gambling, money laundering. Effect on interstate commerce: Spotify streams counted toward Billboard charts, which are national metrics influencing radio play across state lines. It's a textbook racketeering case, and the expert concludes with 90% confidence that if this goes to trial, the pattern of activity requirement is easily satisfied. But there's even more. Plaintiffs also obtained metadata from YouTube videos that show back-end editing timestamps. Turns out, several of the viral "Drake wins big on steak" clips were edited hours before they were allegedly streamed live, meaning the so-called live gambling sessions were pre-recorded and staged. Fans thought they were watching real-time action, but the outcomes were already decided. The metadata proves the videos were rendered and exported before the scheduled stream time, then played back as if they were happening live. That's not just misleading, that's outright deception on a massive scale. Online detectives did their own analysis, comparing video compression artifacts, lighting angles, and clothing continuity across multiple streams. They found at least 4 separate instances where Drake wore the exact same outfit, same jewelry, same watch, in streams that were supposedly weeks apart. But the background studio equipment was in different positions, suggesting the footage was shot in a single session and then chopped up and released over time to maintain the illusion of regular appearances. Fans posted side-by-side screenshots on Twitter with pixel-level breakdowns showing identical shirt wrinkles and chain angles. The internet doesn't miss anything. And just when you think it can't get wilder, TMZ drops another bombshell. They obtained Ring doorbell footage, yes, actual home security video, from a neighbor of one of the steak executives, showing luxury cars being delivered to his house the same week large payments went out to Drake and Adin. The footage shows a Lamborghini Urus, a Rolls-Royce Cullinan, and a Ferrari SF90 all arriving within 72 hours. The neighbor, who chose to remain anonymous, said, quote, "I asked him what he did for a living, and he just laughed and said, 'I help people win money.' Now I know what he really meant." The implication being that steak executives were living lavishly off the backs of gambling losses while funding fake influencer wins to keep the pipeline flowing. The evidence is overwhelming, layered, cross-referenced, and publicly verifiable. This isn't a he said, she said situation. This is blockchain data, forensic accounting, Discord logs, metadata analysis, and eyewitness testimony, all pointing in the exact same direction. And the crazy part? Most of this evidence came from public sources. Fans did half the work for the lawyers just by being obsessive and detail-oriented online. Now, while the main lawsuit is still unfolding, there are so many side stories and conspiracy theories bubbling up that honestly make this whole saga even messier and more entertaining in the darkest possible way. Let me walk you through some of the wildest developments that have the internet absolutely spiraling right now. First, the gifted car conspiracy. On December 30th, 2025, one day before the lawsuit dropped, Adin Ross posted an Instagram story showing a brand new Mercedes-AMG GT Black Series with a giant red bow on it. The caption, "Thanks steak for the early Christmas, let's get it." Within hours, thousands of comments flooded in saying, "That's hush money. They're paying you to stay quiet. You're about to get subpoenaed, bro." And honestly, the timing is suspicious as hell. The lawsuit was filed less than 24 hours later, and legal experts online are speculating that Steak knew the filing was coming and tried to keep Adin loyal with a 6-figure car gift right before everything hit the fan. Whether that's true or just internet paranoia, the optics are absolutely terrible. Then there's the bot stream conspiracy. Fans are now connecting this Steak RICO case to the totally separate RBX versus Spotify botting lawsuit from earlier in 2025. For those who don't know, that case alleged that several major artists, including Drake, used artificial bot farms to inflate streaming numbers. Drake was never officially named, but industry insiders heavily implied his team was involved. Now, people online are theorizing that the bot farms and the Steak money laundering are part of the same operation. The theory goes like this. Stake pays Drake in crypto. Drake uses that crypto to buy bot farm services through Russian servers. The bot farms run up his streaming numbers, which boost chart positions, which increases his leverage for bigger sponsorship deals, which funnels back into more stake promos. It's a self-sustaining hype loop powered by dirty money and fake engagement. Is there hard evidence linking the two cases? Not yet. But the timeline overlaps, the financial incentives align, and fans are building entire Reddit threads with circumstantial connections that are honestly kind of convincing.
And here's a wild one. Remember when Drake quietly sued Universal Music Group in October 2025, claiming they artificially inflated streams for rival artists to make his numbers look weaker? That lawsuit disappeared 48 hours after filing with zero explanation. No settlement announcement, no press release, just gone. Now, plaintiffs in the Stake case are hinting that Universal threatened to countersue with evidence of Drake's own stake-funded stream manipulation. Basically, Drake tried to accuse UMG of cheating. UMG said, "Cool, we've got receipts showing you did way worse with offshore casino money," and Drake quietly withdrew before discovery could expose him. If that's true, it means Universal has been sitting on evidence of this scheme for months and only used it as leverage to protect themselves. That's some next-level corporate chess. There's also chatter about other influencers potentially getting dragged into this. The lawsuit specifically names Drake and Adin, but Stake sponsored dozens of streamers over the past 2 years. People like Trainwrecks, XQC, and Rothstein all had massive Stake partnerships with similar unlimited reload setups. Fans are wondering if they're going to get named in amended complaints or if they'll be called as witnesses. If this case goes to full discovery, every influencer who ever took Stake money is going to have their contracts, payment records, and private messages subpoenaed. That's a potential avalanche of secondary lawsuits and reputation destruction across the entire streaming industry. And then there's the international angle. Stake's parent company is allegedly moving headquarters from Curacao to Anjouan, a tiny island nation off the coast of Africa with almost zero regulatory oversight. Legal analysts are saying this is a classic asset protection move. If U.S. courts freeze Stake's domains or try to seize funds, they'll just rebrand under a new jurisdiction and keep operating through decentralized front ends that are nearly impossible to shut down. It's a cat-and-mouse game that only ends if payment processors like Stripe, PayPal, and MoonPay collectively agree to cut ties, which is unlikely because crypto transactions are too profitable to abandon. Oh, and here's a fan theory that's absolutely unhinged, but also kind of genius. Someone on Twitter said, quote, "Watch Drake drop a surprise album called RICO's theme, streams tank because DSPs delist him, he pivots to a Vegas residency titled House Money, and the memes write themselves." That tweet got 40,000 likes in 6 hours. People are already photoshopping fake album covers, designing fake residency posters, and making TikTok skits about Drake performing in an actual casino while fighting federal charges. The internet has turned this entire legal disaster into a participatory comedy event. And honestly, that's the most 2026 thing ever. Let's zoom out for a second, because this story is way bigger than just Drake and Adin catching heat. What we're witnessing here is a potential paradigm shift in how influencer marketing, music industry economics, and online gambling intersect. And the fallout from this case could reshape entire industries for years to come. First, artist-endorsed gambling. Right now, dozens of rappers, athletes, and streamers have active sponsorship deals with offshore crypto casinos. Roobet, Stake, Rollbit, all of them use celebrity cosigns to reach American audiences. If this lawsuit succeeds and establishes legal precedent that influencers can be held jointly liable for player losses, that entire business model collapses overnight. No major artist is going to risk RICO charges for a 7-figure sponsorship when the downside is potential 9-figure liability and federal prison time. We're talking about the complete death of crypto casino influencer marketing in the US within 12 months if plaintiffs win big here. Second, streaming chart integrity. For years, the music industry operated on the assumption that streaming numbers were mostly organic, with occasional bot interference. This case exposes a way darker reality, that major artists might be systematically using illegal gambling money to buy chart dominance through ad spend loops that look legitimate on the surface, but are actually money laundering. If that's true, it means Billboard charts, Spotify rankings, and industry awards have been compromised for years. Labels might soon be forced forced to audit suspicious stream-to-ad buy patterns or risk SEC disclosure violations, since streaming metrics are used in forward-looking financial statements for publicly traded companies. Third, regulatory crackdown. Congress is already drafting legislation for 2026 that would bring offshore gambling tokens under FinCEN oversight, the Financial Crimes Enforcement Network. This lawsuit hands lawmakers a celebrity poster child and a ready-made narrative about predatory foreign casinos exploiting American consumers with influencer fraud. We're probably looking at bipartisan support for crypto gambling regulation, which almost never happens. When Drake's name is attached, it's front-page news that generates political pressure. Expect hearings, subpoenas, and aggressive enforcement within 18 months. Fourth, the creator economy trust collapse. Influencer marketing is a $100 billion industry built on perceived authenticity. Fans trust creators because they believe the endorsements are genuine. This case shatters that illusion at the highest level. If Drake, one of the biggest artists on the planet, was allegedly running fake gambling promos funded by the House, how can anyone trust any influencer sponsorship ever again? Brands are going to demand way more transparency, contracts will include fraud clauses, and platforms might start requiring sponsored content disclosures that specify whether the influencer is using real money or house funds. The entire ecosystem is about to get way more regulated and way less profitable. And finally, the human cost. This case is forcing a long overdue conversation about gambling addiction, predatory marketing, and the responsibility of platforms and celebrities when promoting high-risk financial behavior. For too long, the attitude has been, it's entertainment, people should know better. But when you've got unlimited fake bankrolls, algorithmically targeted ads, and A-list cosigns all working together to make gambling look easy and fun, that's not entertainment, that's manipulation. And if this lawsuit results in real accountability, it might actually save lives by scaring future influencers away from promoting risky financial products without proper disclosures. So let's talk in-game. What does this all go from here, and what are the realistic worst-case scenarios for everyone involved? Because the speculation is absolutely wild right now, and some of it is honestly terrifying if you're Drake, Adin, or Stake. Worst case for Drake. RICO conviction carries a maximum 20-year federal prison sentence. Now, realistically, feds almost never chase first-time celebrity defendants criminally unless there's violence or national security implications. But civilly, that's where the real damage happens. RICO allows for treble damages, meaning if a jury finds liability, they can triple the award. If 100,000 Stake users each claim $10,000 in losses, that's $1 billion in base damages, which triples to $3 billion, even if Drake settles early to avoid trial. Insiders in LA legal circles are whispering settlement range of $150 to $250 million. That's liquidate assets, sell real estate, restructure your entire financial life money. And on top of that, his reputation takes a nuclear hit. Brands will drop him. Streaming platforms might delist his catalog temporarily. Tour insurance becomes unaffordable. He's looking at career collapse. Worst case for Adin, smaller wallet but way bigger mouth. His net worth is estimated somewhere around $30 to $50 million, way less than Drake. A massive judgment could literally bankrupt him. But here's the twist. Adin's got leverage. If prosecutors offer him a plea deal to cooperate and testify against Drake and Stake, he could wear a wire, provide insider emails, flip on everyone to save himself. And if that happens, the discovery dump would be absolutely legendary. Every private message, every strategy call, every contractual clause, all of it public record. That would be the juiciest content drop in influencer history. And ironically, Adin would probably monetize the hell out of it with a tell-all documentary series. And honestly, it's not that far-fetched given how surreal 2026 has already been. The memes are already designed, the fake posters are already circulating. If he actually did it, the internet would break. So here's where we're at. One thing is absolutely certain. The honeymoon between pop culture and crypto casinos is officially over. Done. Finished. Whether this case ends in a 9-figure settlement or a full televised trial with Drake on the stand, the discovery phase alone is going to pull back curtains that artists never ever wanted us to peek behind. We're talking private contracts, shell company structures, Discord logs, blockchain receipts, every single ugly detail exposed under oath in federal court. And listen, this story is far from over. More details are dropping every single day. More plaintiffs are joining the lawsuit. More influencers are lawyering up. Reports say Twitch is conducting an internal audit of all gambling streams from 2024 to 2025 to figure out if they need to cooperate with investigators. YouTube is allegedly reviewing content policies around gambling promos. Spotify's legal team is reportedly preparing for potential subpoenas related to ad buy transparency. This is an industry-wide reckoning, and we're only in Chapter 2 of what's going to be a 10-chapter saga. So here's what I need from you. Drop your thoughts in the comments right now. Do you think Drake knew exactly what he was doing, or was he just a pawn in Stake's bigger scheme? Do you think Adin's gonna flip and testify to save himself? And honestly, do you think this changes anything, or will influencers just find new ways to promote shady stuff with better legal cover? I want to hear every single take, because this community has been ahead of the media on every twist so far. Make sure you smash that like button, hit subscribe, and turn on notifications, because I'm covering every single development as it drops. If Adin's Discord logs are already this spicy, imagine what's sitting in Drake's unread messages right now. Imagine what Stake's internal Slack channels look like. The discovery phase is going to be a content goldmine, and we're going to break it all down step by step, receipt by receipt. I appreciate every single one of you for rocking with me on this journey. Stay safe out there, be smart with your money, and remember, the house always wins, until the feds show up.